Hi everyone, today is day 2 of Veda. I am going to give you a quick TTC update. Today is cycle day 21 of my second cycle of actually charting. And I am 8 DPO. Oh, and this is my dog Bear. Yeah, he's a Yorkie. Say hi. Say hi. Anyway, sorry. He wanted to cuddle. You want to come back? Okay, anyway, so yeah, I took another pregnancy test today because I am 8 DPO. And of course, it's inconclusive again. I mean, it's more of a, I should probably say it's negative instead of it's inconclusive. But I'd like to say it's inconclusive, not just negative. I mean, I am 8 DPO, so I mean, there's even a chance that it hasn't even implanted yet, if it's going to. So, yeah. And actually, one of you subscribers commented on my last video and said that a migraine was kind of one of those little signs that you get when it implants. And so I went and Googled it, and it said that that can happen because of a hormonal shift, and some women get migraines from it. I don't remember that with my 2 children or any of my miscarriages, but you know, I wasn't paying attention. I never thought to pay attention to that. So who knows? I've had migraines, not all my life, but since I've been, you know, at least a teenager. So anyway, I will show you the pregnancy tests from today, although, you know, I mean, I see this little line. I took 2 of them because I don't know. I almost went and bought a dollar store one too, but alright, so let's show that here. Oh, that's showing you the max. And then the other one is right here. You know, it was funny because just yesterday I decided that I wanted to keep these, and I had already decided I want to keep them, but I decided I wanted to document them, you know, so I folded a piece of paper in half and taped them in order and labeled them, you know, the date, the 5 days past ovulation, 6, 7 days past ovulation. And yesterday, because I took a first response, early response test, and ended up taking that out of the package, I put that on there as well. And, you know, 6 DPO, my husband and I were talking, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm just not going to test. I'm not going to test till at least 8 DPO. I should wait till 10. I've had a hard time. I don't want to see any more BFNs unless it's definitely not a, you know, definitely didn't take. And so, you know, I had kind of decided I'm going to wait. And he comes home from work, and it's right by the toilet. And he comes out, and he's laughing, you know, and he's like, you said you weren't going to test, and you took 2, you know, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to put both of those on my documentation, because then it'll just be like 2 more, you know. But anyway. Okay, so, oh, and I did want to tell you a little story. I shared on, I think it was the Pianistic Addicts Anonymous or something like that Facebook. I don't think I did on the TMI, TTC. I don't know. It was one of the 2. I told the story, but when my grandmother came into town from out of state, I spent a lot of time with her, and I showed her my vlogs, and when we actually went shopping at Walmart. It's new in our town. It was just built, so I love that place. Anyway, and we're at Walmart, and she says, "Oh, I've got a question for you." You know, and she's speaking quite loud. Like there's kids around because we're by the swimming gear, little kid swimming gear. I'm looking at water socks for my kids and whatnot, and she goes, I'm like, oh yeah, and she goes, what is this? I remember you mentioned, or I heard you mention an Aunt Flo. Who is Aunt Flo? I'm like, I was so embarrassed. And I was like dumbfounded. Like I looked at her like, are you serious? You know, and like I'm looking around and seeing people kind of looking at us, you know. So I hushed voice, Grandma, that's your period. Oh, and she's like, oh, and I could tell she was embarrassed after that, but she said, you know, that that's not what they used to call it. So I just thought that was cute and funny, and so I figured I'd share it with you guys because, you know. Anyway, sorry, my dog apparently has fleas. He is allergic to fleas, and so we gave him this really expensive medicine that we bought for him, and it works within 30 minutes. Please go, okay? I will be right there, okay? Okay, you can take Bear with you. Okay, I will be right there.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Yes.
Mommy.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, go. I don't want you to be on camera right now, okay? Okay. Thank you for my tape that you ruined.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, okay, so let's get on with the actual Veda video. So, this one I'm going to do a little bit about me because it's a good starter video. Even though this is Veda 2, yesterday I had a lot to talk about it with the TTC and migraine and everything. So, my name is Brittany. I don't know if I've told you that. I'm 23 years old. I have a son who is 4 and a daughter who is 3. My son actually is going to be turning 5 in October. So they are 19 months apart. Sorry, I always play with my earrings, and I noticed that once I am allergic to the earrings that are not nickel free or something like that, and so it's just my ears, and so I play with it. Anyway, okay, so let me tell you my story of my having children. So I was in high school when I met my husband. He was not in high school, and I ended up getting pregnant. I think it was 3 months before I graduated, or I wasn't big and pregnant when I graduated. I was pregnant, but not big and pregnant. That was a surprise, kind of. We had actually had a miscarriage 2 months prior to me conceiving my son, and that was not fun. I think that's part of the reason I actually conceived my son, because I was grieving the loss of the baby, and so yeah, I think our emotions just kind of went wild, and even though I was in high school, it just happened. So anyway, after I graduated high school, my husband proposed and we got married, and then a month after we got married, well, more than a month, it was like 2 months, my son was born. So then it was about, I had always known that I wanted our kids to be 2 years apart because I thought that was the perfect age. And so I thought, you know, it's going to take a while, because I knew that there were TTCers out there, and it takes a while to get pregnant. It's not like everybody thinks, where you can just get pregnant, you know, at the drop of a hat. Even though I was in high school when I had gotten pregnant with my son, you know, I had a miscarriage, and I was terrified of miscarrying my son. I was terrified of having another miscarriage, and I'd had chemical pregnancies as well. And so it's just, I'm nervous every time. So anyway, we decided to start trying, or actually to take the birth control out and say whatever happens, happens, and if it doesn't happen within the next year, or 6 months, we'll actually start to try. And it took a couple months, and I got pregnant with my daughter. And so then I had my daughter, and my husband only wanted 2 children. I had always honestly wanted 6, which is kind of weird, but you know, I've always wanted 6. And so then after having 2, I thought, you know, maybe I just want 4. But that still left my husband at wanting 2. So we had talked about it, and we finally moved into this house 2 years ago and decided that we will have a third. And then he kind of went back on that, like he was still deciding, because he's gone back and forth. He told me, I don't want a third, and then he'd say, you know, you want a third, so we can have a third, and you know, but I didn't want to have a third just because I wanted it. I wanted him to have the third child as well. And then I think it really hit home for him when we went to the coast and he saw another baby there, and he was talking about the baby, and I don't know, at that moment I knew that he wanted another one, and I wanted another one, and it was amazing. It was just weird, you know, that there was just that moment where we both realized that he does want a third. I don't know why I'm getting choked up about that, because that's just kind of silly. But anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at now. We've been trying. We haven't been trying for very long, actually, only a few months. I thought I was pregnant in May because I had gotten a positive pregnancy test. Like, definitely not evaporation line, like, showed up right away, pregnancy test. Bought the pregnancy test from Target. Do not do that, because I got a false positive. You know, you hear about people getting false negatives all the time and how unlikely it is to get a false positive, although it is out there. Well, I tell you what, it freaking is out there, because, and it's so hard to get a false positive when it's like, it's just like, bam, it's there, and then you go and you get your blood test and nothing is detected. It's like, I mean, and the girl, I called and she's like, oh yeah, it's negative. Like, I was expecting to hear some sort of number, and she says, oh, it's negative, you know, like it's nothing. I'm like, but anyway, so then in June, I got yet another false positive, this time from an EPT test. Both tests were blue dye tests. Now, the EPT test was very faint within the 10 minutes. And then I went back and looked at it, and it was like dark. So I thought, you know, it could be an evaporation line, or it could be just that it was light and darkened, because it was light. But that was a no-go as well, because I took first response, and I probably took like 5 tests after that, and they were all negative. But for that day, I thought I was pregnant. So this month, you know, I'm still having my eyes play tricks on me, but I just don't want to get my hopes up. And I'm no longer ever going to use a blue dye test. Never gonna do it. And I suggest you probably shouldn't either. I don't know. Maybe it's just my hormones are different from your hormones. I don't know. Maybe my hormones just set it off, or no idea. But anyway, so I have a question for anybody who would like to answer me. This is my first full month of BBT charting. Basal body, yeah, okay. BBT charting. And it really confused me, and I'm starting to get the hang of it. But I want to know if anybody knows the difference between a chart that ends in ant flow and a chart that ends in pregnancy. Like, is there another, not dip, but another rise in temperature? Because I had my dip for ovulation, and then I shot up there, and then it leveled out for 3 days, and then it shot up, dipped down, and then shot way, way up, and it just keeps going up. And so, you know, I mean, maybe that's normal. I really don't know because this is my first month. But, you know, I also kind of would like to know if that's possibly like a hormonal shift. The hormones that, you know. Anyway. So, sorry, I'm such a rambler and whatever. So, I am so happy to have all of you new subscribers, and I'm hoping to get more requests on what to do for Veda. I've gotten a few, some in messages, some weird ones from you sillies out there, but I just ignore those anyway. So if you have any requests or any questions, anything I didn't go over that you'd like to know about me, just let me know, and I will see you tomorrow.